This race is the race that many of the drivers feel is the one they'd like to win more than any of the others. You might say, why? It's not the biggest track, certainly. It's not the richest purse. But the thing is, it's got age going for it. It's got heritage. This was the first of the real super speedways built at 1.25 miles. It's now been refurbished. It's now 1.366 miles around. The purse today, $137,000 and a few odd dollars. And more importantly, perhaps than even the money, is the fact that there are 3 drivers here today who have an opportunity to win the Grand National Championship for 1970. Those 3 drivers will be really going hot and heavy. Leading is Bobby Isaac. In second place is James Hilton. And Donnie Allison is in third place in that point standing. And get this, at the end of the year, the driver who has the most points in Grand National Championship racing gets $60,000. We'll talk more about the cars. There are 41 in all that are entered. And the pole sitter, David Pearson, qualified at 150.555 miles an hour. But let's go down to Chris Economaki in the pit area, who will tell us a little bit more about Darlington and why it's such a special thing. Chris?
Thanks, Bill. The Southern 500 is a continuing technical exercise. This year, the drivers come to the line with carburetor plates between the carburetors and the engines. It's slowing the cars down and robbing them of horsepower. And what that has done has tightened up the competition. The slowest car is much faster than the slowest car was a year ago. In other words, the field is closer together. And this year, windows are out of the cars. A year ago, they were optional. So the drivers are now racing without the benefit of the streamlining afforded the windows. All in all, it's a new ball game for almost every one of the 40 drivers in the field. Now, back to you, Bill.
All right, thanks very much, Chris, and we'll be looking forward to your comments throughout the course of the Southern 500. Also today on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we'll be going to Newport, Rhode Island for our color coverage of the America's Cup, Intrepid against Gretel 2.
But right now, let's talk about racing, and more specifically about 33-year-old Richard Petty from Randleman, North Carolina, the winningest driver in NASCAR history. It was just last May at the Rebel 400 where he almost met disaster. He came off the number 4 turn, hit the wall on the outside, caromed off the wall, and at a speed of better than 100 miles an hour, hit with explosive force against the concrete inside retaining wall. Over and over he went. It looked for a moment as if he might have lost his life. He didn't. He just lost his car. But how does he feel about coming back to this very track? Let's find out.
Last time around at Darlington, Richard, you left the track in an ambulance. Has coming back been difficult for you?
Well, I don't guess it has. Really, I hadn't paid a whole lot of attention, although I'm not running probably as good as I have before. I don't think it's thinking about the accident as much as if the car's not handling as good as what it has.
When you go by that spot on the track, do you think about that crash?
No, I don't think about the crash. I just know that I can crash because that cement wall is awful hard up there.
What's this device I see on the top of your car here, Richard? What will that do?
Well, this is what we got now that comes down and fastens to the roll bars. And if I'd had this in the spring, it would have probably kept me from getting hurt in it all. And since then, we did have some wire screen in here, and we felt like that would be detrimental too. So we made this out of nylon, and this looks like it's going to be the hot setup.
Richard Petty's teammate, Pete Hamilton, is already in his car number 40, and the nylon mesh you see there on the side is in place. Some of the drivers use the steel or metal mesh. Now the command, gentlemen, start your engines. And let's see if all 40 cars will be underway. And somebody who will be most anxious to find out if all cars are starting is Bill Dennis, who is car number 54. He's the 41st or alternate. And if one car doesn't get into it, well, of course he would. Let's get a word with Chris Economaki about the starting field and the average speed.
It's a tight field, Bill. Pearson at 150.5 is only 3.86 seconds slower than Earl Brooks, the 40th starter. So we should see a close race.
And David Pearson is hopeful of repeating the victory that he had here in May in the Rebel 400. And we'll be back for the pace lap and the starting field in just a moment. And the cars will come around one more time, so we'll have a good look at them. As they come by here, you'll notice them weaving in and out, trying to get those tires worn in, get the feel of the car as they come by. Now, Buddy Baker, number 6, is on the inside. He was not the fastest qualifier. Chris, you might want to make a note of that.
Well, Pearson elected to choose the outside, which was his option as the fastest qualifier. The high groove here, apparently the better of the two.
In the second row, number 22, Bobby Allison. And then behind, or next to him, 99, Charlie Glotzback in the purple Dodge on the outside. Then Bobby Isaac, number 71, in the third row with Pete Hamilton. Next to him in car number 40. Cale Yarborough in a Mercury, number 21. In the fourth row, Donnie Allison. Next to him, number 27 in a Ford. And here they come with Lorenzen, Petty, Spencer, Arrington, Brooks, and Hilton lined up behind the leaders. And the green flag is out. And the Southern 500, which comes of age today, 21 years old, is underway. And David Pearson charges for that first turn, cuts off Buddy Baker in the first turn. And both those cars seem to have a tremendous amount of acceleration ahead of the field. Right behind Pearson and Baker are Bobby Allison and Charlie Glotzback. And as they come by the backstretch, half a lap gone by, it's still Pearson and Buddy Baker into the number 3 turn, up into the high bank, which was redesigned a year ago to 26 degrees of bank. And here they come by the first time, the first lap, and it's David Pearson, Buddy Baker, Bobby Allison, and Bobby Isaac making his move as he goes by Bobby Allison into third place.
Isaac is one of the contenders for the championship, Bill, and he'd very much like to win this one today.
Yes, and he's said before that he hates to race here, Chris. He said it's the toughest track I've ever had to drive on in my life.
Isaac would certainly like to win here. It'd mean a lot of money for the Grand National Championship.
And there you see the first 5 cars, Pearson and Baker, followed by Bobby Isaac, Bobby Allison, and Donnie Allison. The first 5 coming around the grandstand. Then Cale Yarborough, followed by Charlie Glotzback. So the first 7 cars running very hot.
Here's the speed, Bill, an amazing 145.060 miles an hour. They're moving.
And that is quite a high speed. As a matter of fact, we have a hot day here today, and if they keep that up, there might be some driver fatigue. And as you can see, some of the slower cars already are being lapped.
That carburetor plate isn't slowing them down too much. That was put in about 5 races ago to keep engines from blowing, and it's doing that. But it hasn't cut the speed all that much.
And it's still David Pearson, followed by Buddy Baker. Then Bobby Isaac has pulled up a little bit on Buddy Baker. Look at Isaac closing in there. You know, Chris, it's kind of ironic, but 20 years ago this weekend, Buck Baker entered the first car ever in the Southern 500. It was a 1950 Oldsmobile.
And that car's in the museum today. Buck, who's busy on NASCAR's Grand Touring Circuit, is racing up north and is missing seeing his son in action today.
And look at these 5 cars come by here. Pearson, Baker, Isaac, and Donnie Allison has passed brother Bobby for 4th place. So the 2 Allisons are running 4th and 5th, Donnie over Bobby, and Donnie is pulling right up on the tail end of that high fin of Bobby Isaac. Uh-oh, trouble. A car up against the rail, one down low between the 3rd and the 4th turn. Dr. Don Tarr, car number 37, up against the high railing. And he's out of the car and over the railing, and the yellow flag is out.
Looked as though he had steering problems, Bill. The car just ran up and hit the rail.
Well, he's okay. He's out of the car, but here comes the parade into the pit area. And the strategy here will be who can get in and get out the quickest. Here comes Buddy Baker, and the Cotton Owens crew will be swarming all over him. The question is, can he beat Pearson out?
Dick Hutcherson and the Holman and Moody crew aren't exactly slow pokes, Bill, but I'm surprised to see the hotshots stopping so early.
Well, one hotshot who hasn't is Bobby Isaac, who is out on the track, who is not pulled in, and who is in the lead right now. Gasoline sloshes all over the place, and the Buddy Baker crew sends him off on his way. Now, at the other end of the pit area is David Pearson. He'll be trying to get underway before Buddy, but I believe Buddy's going to pass him by. Here he goes. And there is the Pearson car, and Baker beats him out. And here goes Pearson.
The yellow flag is still out, Bill, so the advantage won't be significant because they'll all stack up behind the safety car until the track is cleared of the wreck of Don Tarr being taken off the banks there. That's an attendant behind the wheel. Tarr is complaining of a sore hand. Otherwise, he appears okay.
And the yellow caution light is still on. Earlier, Chris Economaki had a chance to talk to the pole sitter, David Pearson.
What kind of a race do you think we're going to have? It's going to be a hot day, and they say that the track is slipperier now than it's been in recent years.
Well, the way everybody's been running during the practice all week, everyone's running real close together now. I know when I qualified, I was a little bit faster, but they quite a few more now has come down to running the same speed I am. And it looks like it's going to be a closer race than ever.
And the green flag is now out following that accident with Dr. Don Tarr. And they're running hot again, Chris, with Bobby Isaac in the lead in car number 71, the Dodge Daytona, the high wing on the back. Then in second place is Bobby Allison in car number 22 with Buddy Baker behind him.
Well, the Dodge brothers should be happy. Their cars are in first three positions. You know, the high wing at about 145 to 150 miles an hour starts to have a distinct advantage, and it's paying off here today, Bill.
Yes, it seems to give the cars just a little bit more purchase, a little bit more traction. Behind these first three Dodges, moving back into fourth place, is Cale Yarborough, and then right behind him, just coming into view, is David Pearson. There are the fourth and fifth place cars right now.
And they are carrying the Ford Motor Company's hopes in this one.
As we move ahead now, there's a spin down low, car number 33. That is Wayne Smith.
You know, Bill, that's a second spin in that spot. It could be slippery there.
Well, the interesting thing is we haven't had a yellow, Chris. The boys are still racing, and the yellow caution flag is not out, still under the green.
Well, they're turning the track in 33 seconds, according to my watches, Bill. That's an even 150 miles an hour, so they're moving.
And look at here who's moving. Buddy Baker passes Bobby Allison for second place. Buddy sliding by on the inside, the tough route. And he is now in second place ahead of Bobby. Chasing at this particular point in the race, car number 71, Bobby Isaac.
Traffic is heavy on this 1 3/8 mile track, and the boys are constantly moving past slower cars.
And Buddy Baker, Bobby Allison, those are the second and third place cars. In fourth place is Cale Yarborough. A car up against the wall. That is car number 72. It's Benny Parsons, and he still keeps going.
Grinding the side of the car away on the wall, and this time the yellow flag does come out. Benny's a former Detroit taxi cab driver, and he's got no fare this trip.
Well, his incident against the wall prompts the yellow out, and it also means that we'll have a parade into the pit area. And we'll be back with more of the Southern 500 from the Darlington Raceway in just a moment. Bill Fleming along with Chris Economaki back at the Southern 500 at Darlington. And we have a new leader, even though he's under the yellow. Donnie Allison has taken the lead from Bobby Isaac. We might explain that, Chris, that you can take the lead under the yellow.
Well, that's the pit stop shuffle, just to let someone inherit the lead. You can't pass for it, and that's what's happened here. But here's the green.
And there shoots car number 27 into the lead. That is Donnie Allison. Donnie seems to be running extremely hot at this time in the Sonny King Ford.
Well, he's got a clear shot at the track, no traffic, and down that back straightaway, he's probably doing 162 miles an hour.
Banjo Matthews, who set up this car for Darlington, was a very popular driver in his own right, but many years ago, Chris.
Right, in 1952, he finished fifth here, and last week, his daughter married Cotton Owen's son. And so we have a little big family type thing here at the track today.
And Cotton Owens, of course, is the one who set up Buddy Baker's car. Right now, Cale Yarborough has moved into the number 2 spot, and in number 3 is Buddy Baker, followed by Bobby Isaac. So there you see them as they flash by. Donnie Allison, Cale Yarborough, then Buddy Baker and Bobby Isaac.
Dick Brooks is moving up through the pack, and David Pearson in number 17 is still among the challengers in this, the 21st running of the Southern 500.
Right, there's Pearson at 17, and Brooks right behind him, as you mentioned it, Chris.
Brooks is an interesting competitor. He's the top independent this year on the circuit from a standpoint of finishes. He hasn't been consistent. Here he's challenging Pearson out. Look at that wing, put the backside of the car down, and he may get by.
But David Pearson won't let him by. He qualified about 3 miles an hour faster than Brooks and shows his acceleration right there.
Brooks is the top independent on the circuit, has won a lot of money, but is not high in the points because of cars dropping out on him.
And Bobby Allison's pulled in right behind Richard Brooks. The way they're running right now, we have the 7th and 8th cars. There goes Richard Petty past Pete Hamilton. Those 2 cars running as a team are now 7th and 8th in the competition, with Pete Hamilton in the 8th spot.
Hamilton's the season's big money winner with $120,660 in winnings so far.
Now there's the leader, Donnie Allison, in car number 27. Cale Yarborough is right behind him and pulling up fast, and there's the time, 32.9. That's better than 150 miles an hour for Cale.
150.4. He's rolling.
And look at him move past Donnie Allison for the lead. Cale Yarborough has taken the lead for the first time in this Southern 500. Incidentally, over many of these ABC stations, you'll see NCAA college football this afternoon. Minnesota, Missouri in one region, and Florida State against Georgia Tech in another. And then on Monday night, the premiere of NFL football on Monday night on ABC. It'll be the Jets against the Browns at 9 o'clock, and we have a spin right in front. It's Freddie Lorenzen in car number 98. on the almost the middle of the backstretch, Freddie Lorenzen spun completely around, and he certainly showed Chris Economaki the Lorenzen of old in controlling the car.
Did a beautiful job of keeping it off the wall, and Richard Petty almost nailed him as he went by, and he's coming to the pits now.
So with the yellow out right now, and Cale Yarborough in the lead, with Donnie Allison in second place and Buddy Baker in third. We're going to take a short break here at the Southern 500 in Darlington. Back very, very soon. Back here at the Southern 500 in Darlington, we've reached the halfway mark with Donnie Allison driving the red Ford, car number 27, in the lead. Donnie's never won this race, and right now the average speed is a little over 128 miles an hour, so he's really clipping along just about 2 miles an hour underneath what could be a record. So it's been a hot pace, it's been a hot day, and here's how the cars stand right now.
Running second and third behind Donnie Allison, Cale Yarborough, and Buddy Baker. Right there in car number 21 and car number 6. Then Bobby Isaac is running fourth in 71. Behind him is Bobby Allison in 22. And all 5 of those cars are running on the same lap.
Bill, the halfway mark has come and gone, and 35 of the 40 starting cars are still in the race.
And Donnie Allison just did brush the wall. Allison put a little bit of that red paint on the wall, and they call that the Rainbow of Courage here at the Darlington Raceway. There's Cale Yarborough and Buddy Baker behind Allison. They probably picked up a couple of seconds there. And a long slide by car number 17, David Pearson. And Chris is in that same doggone spot.
I wonder if he's going to be out of it. I hope not. Nope, he's firing up, but I'll bet he flat spotted the tires and needs a new set.
So apparently there's a slick spot on that track at the number 2 turn. And no yellow is out. So everything is okay, and they're still running fast. And now into the pit area comes Freddie Lorenzen's car number 98, normally driven by Leroy Yarborough, the Junior Johnson car. He's out of it for today, and look at the side of it.
He's worn holes in the side from that ride against the wall, and he's a disgusted and tired driver. The comeback trail has not been an easy one for Fred Lorenzen.
This is his first ride in 3 years in a Ford automobile. He drove one of the high-wing Chrysler products at his first comeback, and he's talking here with Junior Johnson. Well, that used to be a great combination.
A great study of Lorenzen.
Now back racing against Donnie Allison. Cale Yarborough has pulled up a little on him. And I believe we're going to have quite a battle here for that number 1 spot. Look how Cale is moving, and the Wood Brothers crew urging him on. He, at one time, was 9 seconds behind. He's been picking up about a second a lap on Allison. Now, whether that means that Allison has slowed up is simply a question we'll have to find out. The point is, it looks like Cale is going to challenge for this lead. And they come right by the grandstands. Everybody stands up, urging Cale on, and Allison brushes the wall again. Between the first and second turn, Allison brushed the wall, and Cale shot by him. We have a new leader, as Yarborough has taken it over from Donnie Allison. Whew.
Allison's almost nicked the tail of Yarborough's car as it went by, Bill.
Yeah, if he's not careful, he's not going to have much metal there on the rear end of his car. David Pearson getting the sign there of go, and apparently the pit crew is satisfied that everything is okay after that long slide.
He's a lap down and has just passed Allison to get close to Cale. There's the yellow.
And looking around, we see the workmen down here at the left end of the pit row shoveling things off the track. So apparently there was some parts or debris on the track, and that means that Cale comes in a very good time to come for a pit stop and a little refreshing drink.
It's a hot day here, and these boys need attention. Cale has been driving pretty hard and obviously needs fresh right side rubber. And here's Donnie Allison in at number 27.
And Cale just about ready to go out. Cale is out again, and he passes Donnie Allison down at that end. There he goes.
They're working on Allison's car. Allison was 5th at Indianapolis in the Rookie of the Year, and he looks calm, cool, and collected as the seconds tick by.
And he goes out, and I'm watching Bobby Allison, his brother, who is in there, and he seems to be upset. He's hammering against the steering wheel. Donnie was calm and cool as a cucumber, but Bobby is far from it.
He's telling the Mario Rossi crew he wants a chassis adjustment.
Change something. Oh, the heck with it. And we'll be back in a moment. With 130 laps to go, the green comes out again. Cale Yarborough challenged by Buddy Baker. And those are the number 1 and number 2 cars right there. And I'm glad they have nicknames, because we'd be saying William Caleb Yarborough is challenged by LZ Wiley Baker.
Baker wants that number 1 spot. It's getting time now for someone to make a move, and what a move that is.
Ooh, a dangerous move. This is not what they call a wide track, but he put another car right between him, and there he sandwiches in and is right alongside Cale Yarborough and in the lead for a fraction.
Boy, you really have to respect the man alongside of you to race like that. But it didn't pay off. Cale Yarborough still has the number 1 position.
Yarborough in first, Baker in second. Isaac is in third. Then comes Donnie Allison and Bobby Allison. Those are the first 5 at this point. Still a lot of racing to go, but it's been a warm afternoon, a threat of showers occasionally, but it's been simply just humid and hot.
Despite the slowdowns, Bill, are averaging almost 130 miles an hour, with the racing speeds being in the high 48s to 49s.
And here Baker pulls out again to try to go inside. And he's got him. Buddy Baker takes the lead from Cale Yarborough, and a tremendous roar goes up from the fans down the main straightaway. They're standing on the backstretch. What a race we've had, and look at Bobby Isaac pulling up on Cale Yarborough.
There's some competition, Bill, when you think drivers like Richard Petty, Pete Hamilton, and Charlie Glotzbach are not in it for the lead.
And look at Bobby Isaac pulling up on Cale, and he goes low here, trying to get into second place. Turns it on and comes by Cale, and Bobby Isaac has taken over the number 2 spot, just closing the gate on Yarborough.
Isaac has had great success on little, short, half-mile tracks, but has really had it tough in cracking the victory circle in the super speedways.
And here's a long slide. Car number 48, James Hilton, who's in second place in the Grand National NASCAR Championship standings, has pulled to a halt.
Look at those skid marks. You can bet he'll be back in the race. He always manages to finish, and that's the way you get the points for the title. You must be around when the checker waves.
And James Hilton is a very proud father of his young son, who made the finals in the Soapbox Derby a couple of weeks ago in Akron. Well, with the yellow out, it's Buddy Baker, Bobby Isaac, Cale Yarborough, and Donnie Allison in that order. We'll be back with more of the Southern 500. The temperature here in Darlington, South Carolina, in the 90s. And right now, we've got a race that's just as hot. Buddy Baker and Cale Yarborough still battling for that lead, just as they were when we left you a short time ago. And Chris Economaki, let's have a quick rundown here. After the first 3 cars of Baker, Yarborough, and Donnie Allison, how far back is Bobby Isaac?
He's 1 lap down, Bill, but 4 laps down. In 5th place is Pete Hamilton, and 5 laps down is David Pearson, number 17, racing in the same lap with Richard Petty. Bobby Allison, with that trouble, has dropped to 11th place, some 10 or 15 laps back.
And the Wood Brothers crew signals at 33.6 to Cale a moment ago. That's 147.3 miles an hour. So Cale has been running very consistent laps, right around 147, 148 miles an hour, and seems content at the time, at least, to stay behind Buddy Baker.
Well, Cale lives near here, and he always says he does better on his hometown track. I think he sort of smells victory today.
Well, a fellow who would like to smell victory is Buddy Baker, who has never won here. And earlier, Chris Economaki talked to him about this track and about this race.
What's different about Darlington this September from last September?
Well, Chris, the best way to explain that is Darlington. It changes every 30 minutes. It's hard for people that's never been here to understand. This racetrack is almost like a living thing. The temperature changes the racetrack, the competition, the amount of people around you, and the drafting procedures and all. Everything just adds up to Darlington all over again.
A year ago, Buddy Baker finished 3rd in this race. 2 years ago, he finished 3rd and ran 400 miles without any breaks. But things seem to be cruising along well for him today. The challenge that he has for the immediate moment is Cale Yarborough, and Cale is about 1.5 seconds behind.
That's Buddy's car owner in the yellow cap, Cotton Owens.
And look how much Cale just picked up just down the chute. Looks like he might try to challenge here.
The Mercury apparently drafts the Dodge well, Bill. Some cars pull and others push, and in this case, the 21 car seems to hang right onto the back of the wing Dodge.
And you can bet that Buddy Baker knows that he's there. all the time. Cale finished second to Leroy Yarborough a year ago, and 2 years ago won this race. Right now, that 33.3 converts to 148.6 miles an hour for Cale. He's running about a mile an hour faster than he was 2 laps ago.
This is remarkably fast because of the great number of cars still on the track. Very few cars have gone out, and it's heavy traffic as we see here. Look at this.
Oh, Cale goes to the inside and touches a car, and he's in a long slide. Cale down on the infield, hits the fence.
He's out of it.
Out of it, I guess so. He just rides and knocks those fence posts off like 10 pins, and he is up, hung up on the number 3 turn. Out of the car he comes. It's a tough way to end an afternoon.
You wonder why that happened.
Fortunately, we can take a look at why it happened and how it happened as we go back and take a look at it. Here it is again in the replay. There is the long swirling slide, and then up against the retainer wall and just starts clipping off those fence posts like they were just matchsticks.
He got down on the inner portion of the track where it's quite slippery. Now here's the stop action. He's right behind Buddy Baker coming off the turn in the high-speed lane.
Here's where he makes the bad move, though, right there.
And he cuts way down underneath the car. Now here he cuts back. Joe Frasone, number 18, is right in front of him, and this apparently is a crucial moment. He tries to get the car straightened by turning sharply to the left here, which throws the back end out and around. Touches the Frasone, number 18 car.
Now he does a remarkable job of controlling that spin as he just does a whirling dervish down into that number 3 lower corner.
It's a very tight and quick spin with the wheels locked up, and that's where the smoke came from. And here, some of the 69,500 fans, the type of the crowd we have here today, South Carolina's largest sporting crowd, seeing their favorite out of the race.
And nobody is more dejected than Cale Yarborough right now as he'll take that ride, fortunately in a relatively upright position in the ambulance, which is always a good note. But the Wood Brothers crew, of course, very dejected that the car has been wiped out of this race, and Cale be coming back to the pit area. We'll get a word with him shortly. The safety car is still out on the track, and we're going to get one more lap under the yellow caution. So Cale Yarborough is out of the race, and here comes his car in a forlorn-looking piece of scrap metal it is right now. I'd hate to see the underside of it after sitting on top of that fence for about 150 yards. Let's find out if Cale is as uncomfortable as his car looks.
It looks as though you've had a tough day, Cale.
Well, it's been tough all day, Chris. The car was running good, but I lost my brakes right after the race started. I've had no brakes all day long, and it's just been hard to run. I've really had to watch myself because I couldn't get in any traffic or near anybody because I couldn't stop. And this is the worst place in the world to run without brakes.
Where do you use the brakes mostly here, Cale?
Well, you have to use them all the way around the racetrack because there's only one groove, and you have to use them when you come up on another car, and this is what happened coming off of 2. I ran into some slow traffic, and I either had to run over the back of them or try to go down under them, and I went down under them and spun down the backstretch and hit the guardrail.
Have you been in more exhausting Southern 500s?
Yes, I have. I'm not really that tired, Chris. I'm tired, but I could go a few more 100 miles.
Cale Yarborough ready for some more.
All right, the green is just about ready to come out here at Southern 500 with Buddy Baker trying to hang on to that lead. The question is, can he win here where he's never been able to win before, but his father has won 3 times? We'll soon know.
And the green flag is out. Incidentally, before the yellow caution came out for Yarborough's accident, they were running 131.75 miles an hour. That would be a record if they could continue at that pace. The record is 130.4, set by Richard Petty in 1967. Buddy Baker in first place. Then Donnie Allison, car number 27, is in second place. Bobby Isaac, car number 71 there, is 1 lap down. He has to unlap himself to get on the same lap as the leader, and Cotton Owens is keeping a very close check in the pits on Buddy Baker.
Close 500. Usually at this point in the race, there's a lap or 2 difference between the leader and second place.
And look at car number 27 is up against the guardrail. Smoke pouring from the right side of the car as he's just burning and pruning those tires right off practically. And Donnie Allison limps down on the lower part of the track. And so that really takes the heat off Buddy Baker, who had Allison challenging him there, and the pace car is out. First Southern 500, but he has to keep that Dodge Daytona together for another 3 laps. he actually has one full lap lead on car number 71, Bobby Isaac. Bobby is car number 71 there, and car number 17 right behind him is the 4th place car. That's David Pearson. He's 4 laps down, and Pete Hamilton is 3 laps down. He's running 3rd. It looks a little bit confusing on the track, but actually the story here is Baker in front, then in 2nd place Isaac, then 3rd place Hamilton, and 4th place Pearson.
The title contenders, Hilton, Bobby Allison, and Bobby Isaac, are all in the top 10, Bill, which means the championship will not be decided today. It'll probably go to the National 500, which will be seen from Charlotte, North Carolina on Wide World later this fall.
All right, this time around, we probably will get the white flag, right, Chris?
That's it, 1 to go, and this is what Buddy Baker's been waiting for a long, long time. It's too bad his dad is away racing.
Buddy Baker, who is 29 years old, first came to this track with his father 20 years ago in that first race of the Southern 500. White flag is up.
That was Cotton Owens, Bill, really sweating it out. Hey, Baroni, you never know. You haven't won until the checkered flag comes down over the radiator.
1.366 miles to go when he got that white, and now it's just about half of that as he comes around with half a lap to go.
$27,500 at stake to win this one today.
And Buddy Baker has not won the Grand National NASCAR race since Charlotte 2 years ago, and this is going to be a very big win. The checkered flag is out, and Buddy Baker takes it to win the 21st running of the Southern 500, and you think the Cotton Owens crew isn't happy. Whether there'll be a celebration tonight in Darlington. So the way things wound up, it was Buddy Baker in front, then Bobby Isaac, then Pete Hamilton, then David Pearson, and finally Richard Petty wound up in 5th place. And Chris Economaki will be making his way to victory lane to talk to Buddy Baker in just a moment.
Well, here we are in victory lane with the winner, Buddy Baker. Buddy, a big day for you. Your father won here before. You must be happy.
Chris, I just don't know what to say. It's a young race driver's dream, and a win just couldn't have come at a better time. I'm so happy. I'm short on words. I've wanted to win this thing since I was 9 years old, when my dad used to win here, and now here I am in Victory Circle. It's just a country boy's dream comes true. Here I am.
What kind of a day was it on the track for you?
Well, it was my day. You could see every break on the racetrack went my way, and I was real delighted.
You won it, though, buddy. You drove for it. It wasn't luck.
Well, regardless of how you get a race, there's a certain amount of luck goes with it, because many times today I was in tight situations that worked in my favor, and I was real happy.
I bet you wish your dad was here.
I sure do. That's the only part of this win that I miss him. I sure do.
The winner, Buddy Baker. And now, Bill Fleming has joined us. How about a few final words, Bill?
All right, thanks very much, Chris. And of course, it is all excitement down here in Victory Lane, as it usually is following a race. And this was truly a great one, taking stamina and a lot of heart to do it. It was a popular victory. Buddy Baker has not won a Grand National NASCAR race since 1968, when he won the World 600 in Charlotte, not very far from here. So all in all, a big day for Buddy Baker. And now let's take a look at the way the rest of the cars finished.
It's official now. Buddy Baker, the winner. Bobby Isaac, 2nd. Pete Hamilton was 3rd. Dave Pearson was 4th. And Richard Petty was 5th. And the average speed, 128.8, missing by an eyelash, the record set by Richard Petty. As far as the overall point standings are concerned now in the Grand National Championship circuit, Bobby Isaac picked up quite a bit on 2nd place James Hilton today, because Isaac finished in 2nd place. Bobby Allison still is in 3rd. So that's the story of the Southern 500.